Okay. All right. I am here. Let's get this show on the road. Oh. Alrighty. So, fortunately or unfortunately, we are still working on Dark Souls 3. Why is one door? Okay, there we go. As long as everything's functional. There we go. There we are. There we go. Oh wait, let me make sure. It should be fixed now. Just it's actually set this thing starting out to private, so yeah, so should be. There we go. Now we're moving on. Okay, cool. Now, looking at this, I think we should probably start on Xanthos Scholars. Yeah, that's probably the next one we want. Nope, that's not what we want. There we go. Xanthos. Yeah. Yeah. Of course, we have some like getting captured. Yeah, they probably only start showing up after. Yeah. Yeah, that's probably it, right? Okay. So then, if that's the case, let's do this. All right, here we go. Let me say one more thing, actually, just so that way people know. There we go. Whoops, forgot to set the stream to public, just so that way you guys get the last thing. Forgot to set the, yeah. Public. Should be good now. There we go. Yeah. I need to get this all in order. Perfect. Okay. So let's get this. Let's get this sorted. So looking at what we have here, I don't see anything that would. Yeah, this giant blacksmith and all that stuff. Yeah. So we have the stuff on Sully. Cannot find any. Yeah, because Hazel is here. Is there anything on Hazel being undead yet? There's yeah, that's for dusk. Mm-hmm. All that in mind. Yeah, I can't think of a good scenario where Xanthos Scholars are active while Far on Keep is still. I think it's fair to say, does this establish the Xanthos scholars? Oh, we should also forget, yeah, there we go. Because we also have the watchdogs we got to keep in mind, right? Nothing really complicated. I think we could just mention that they exist. You know, kind of like Alvina's Covenant. It exists. It's not really doing anything like super major timeline-wise, right? There we go. Oh, you know what? Setting this to private did cause me one issue, which was, I don't have the chat. Refresh. Damn. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have the OBS for the chat, so that's going to be a little awkward. Huh? Oh boy. All right, I think this will work. Yeah, there we go. Let me refresh this now. No. Sorry. Yeah, sorry, guys. I'm not going to be able to easily check out. Actually, wait a second. I think I might be able to fix this, actually. Let me just move this to a new window. It's going to be a little scuffed, I will admit. It's a little scuffed. Right? Yeah, okay. Okay, yeah, it's gonna be a little scuffed now, but at the very least, it's something. There we go. Okay. Making... didn't do a good job prepping this time, sorry to say. Alright, so Drifters established the Xanthos scholars. Hazel and family join the Xanthos scholars. This is around the stuff with the Grus, right? Mm-hmm. Watch Dogs obviously later, so... What do we put this as? Drifter? No. Yeah, the Fall of Ruin thing. Drifters established the Xanthos scholars. Become researchers. Yeah, I think that's fair. You can make an argument that Hazel and company may be the first, so. Of course, we got the Londor Pilgrim Woman. Yeah, okay. Researchers encounter Dusk and Elizabeth. Let's see, what else can we put here? Probably something like this, right? Oh, because they get killed though. But their deaths are a lot more recent with the Mushroom Men and stuff like that. Oh yeah, let's put that actually. Researchers establish relations with Mushroom Men. There's nothing really crazy. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Okay, so they don't have any of the spells from what I recall. Yeah, it's only, yeah, one of Simply Yellow Cloth doesn't know anything. Okay. Alrighty, there we go. Do we have anything? Yeah, Sully's around already by this point for sure. So, researcher. That's probably. This is probably a good one. Sullivan collects lycanthrope and Xanthos scholars as specimens. Hey, I am good to see you in the chat. Like I said, I'm sorry that trying to figure out how with OBS I can refresh. I'm trying to do it, but it's just not working, so there might be a better way for me to handle this, but I just don't know how at the moment, so my bad. Well, saving when I was in Bulletari. You showed me what it's like being a Bulletarian, and now I think I get it. We should encounter Dusk and Elizabeth in Farron Keep. I don't think we need to mention the mining and stuff, right? No, I don't think so. Establish relations with Dusk and Elizabeth. Yeah, there we go. There we go. That's better. I think that's pretty much I think it pretty much covers like the major stuff. No, that doesn't make lawn door, right? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah, that makes sense. Kind of have to, for what we have to work with. Okay, actually, I'm gonna check this right now. How to fix YouTube chat in OBS. Let me see if there's a way to do this. Okay, I think I know what I gotta do then. 1 second, chat, I'll see. I think I can fix this on my side. All right, there we go. One second. There we go. Ah. Doing horrible. There we go. That's the thing I want to grab. Oh, that doesn't have what I want though. Oh god, it's doing the it's me trying to understand this magic again, and it never works out that well, does it? There we go. I'm trying. I'm not making this work. I thought it would be a lot simpler. Let me try this one more time. I'm gonna. All right. Yeah, I'm not able. I'm gonna have to just manually check on the chat more often for you guys. Sorry, that's gonna have to be how the stream is. We don't got too much time to be wasting anyway, so let's get back to it. Let's see. Hello, researcher is exiled and trapped and becomes citizen of Londor. We'll have that just to acknowledge that. Everything else looking good though. Dark Rise can show up at any point in this point. Sage a scroll. Okay. So really the biggest focus should be on Sully and the stuff with the giant. Uh-huh. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we're not going to focus too hard on the metal part. There's also not too much on actual timeline with this stuff, so... Yeah, probably fair to put this stuff alongside the grooves. I also know the giant slave is posted on the Undead Settlement Tower. Somewhat vague on when that happened, so I guess we'll just include this too. Sullivan, how do I put this? Zentho sends giant slave to undead settlement. Pose. With Hawkeye equipment. With Goff's equipment. Sullivan posts giant slave to yeah, it's just sort of a question of like how recently has he been doing that, dropping the arrows and stuff, because it's probably not like, you know, every hour or something like dropping those things, but he's doing it frequently enough. So yeah, I think this is fair. Let's actually do it this way. Sets up safeguards. 4, 3, 4 dusks, 3 white trees. Giant slave sent to undead settlement tower with Goff's equipment. Right? And then what would be point 2 though? Probably actually let's do it like this. Takes interest in Dusk's 3 white trees. Yeah, so back to sending Sullivan there. Giant slave travels to undead settlement with Goff's equipment. Slave snipes. Let's just say tree approachers. Yeah, tree approachers from atop church tower. The settlement's church tower. Snipes countless. There we go. Yeah, I think that's fine for now, I guess. Not sure how happy I am with all that setup, but like it's good enough. Yeah, so we'll save that. Hawkwood links the fire at some point, yeah. Some of this I could see. Some of this I can see getting redone. Yeah, I could see some of this getting rearranged. Hazel joins the fingers of Zarya. Yeah, okay. There we go, yeah. This has to happen. The Vinheim stuff has to happen. Okay. Now that mess is cleared. Hey, Celeste. Blah, blah, blah. Calling Sullivan Sully. You've lost 200 ore. I always call him Sully. What's that new? Also, Celeste. Yeah, the live will be made public again soon. Don't worry. I made I forgot I had it privated to double check a few things, and then like this today, so I was like, oh, I forgot to make public the new video. So yeah, we've got some. I'm gonna try one more time, chat. There has to be a way. There has to be a way I can get this. I'm gonna inspect one more time. No, I don't see it, unfortunately. Yeah, I don't see it, unfortunately, which is a shame. Unfortunately. I'm gonna look this up one last time, chat. How to fix YouTube chat plugin for OBS during stream. OBS browser source, okay. I mean, I thought I did that, but let me see. I'm gonna check the settings real quick. No, yeah, I can't adjust any of that stuff. No source selected. Let's see if I can do this. Yeah, nothing. I'm just gonna have to deal. I'm gonna have to deal with my my own silly decisions. Have you read Lord of the Rings? No, actually, I've not. I've not read Tolkien's work. That I can 100% confirm I have not done. All right, let's see now. Assuming that I have it all right here. That's a very big assumption. We should be... think we have pretty much everything covered. There's nothing left in the early life for the twin princes I think we need. Same with Kareem. I don't think. Dark Race, Faron, Rosaria, Karthus, Chaos Demons, The Deep, Kareem, Guinevere, Sullivan, Undead Settlement, High Wall, Crystal State. I'm trying to think of all the stuff leading up to the big cluster frick we're about to enter. Oh, Ariandel. No, because that starts with okay, yeah, that starts. We're gonna have to do that with getting what's her face in there. Frida, okay. Oh, did not mean to touch that. Okay, good, it still works. Yeah, that's the problem. The problem with using this gallery chat, you click in between and it'll accidentally do something like that. Yeah, gotta keep that in mind for the future. Yeah, I have a bit of Carla, but none of the modern stuff. Midir, yeah, all these characters are irrelevant. Okay, I think we've got enough of this stuff set up. I think let's focus. I think we can work on the Frida stuff as we get to it, but for now, I think we can focus on the Chaos Demon stuff and Lothric's decline. There we go. Yeah, okay. All right. Sullivan and Osiros collaborate, or rather form coalition force to defeat, to exterminate chaos, or yeah, to hunt chaos demons, or to war with Isla. Yeah, two. Let's just say form coalition force and invade Izalith. Giant slaves install / operate giant ballista. Yeah, Zorg, we're also gonna have to factor in somewhere in the timeline here. 'Cause he's involved with Gwendolyn. Yeah, okay. Okay, looking at some of this, because I've organized some of this, but not all of it. So as you can see, there's still a lot of things where it's like there's major bullet points that I need to go through. Zorig's main stuff. Should be after here, right? There we go, Zorg's Adventures. We'll include those here for now. Some of this we're gonna have to move around. Zorig hunts dark wraiths. Um, Gwendolyn hires Zorig. Yeah, Gwendolyn hires Zorig to investigate the Dark Apostles, we'll say. I say the Dark Apostles. Gwendolyn gifts Soaring. Could be before or after the event in question here. The armor of Tarkus. There we go. Oh, this actually reminds me we should include here. Gwendolyn collects equipment of dead knights and undead of Ornstein, Smo, Tarkus, etc. from Anor Londo. Around Anor Londo. Yeah, okay, there we go. And then where were we with Zorig? Alright, so Zorig hunts Dark Wraiths and other knights. Gwendolyn hires Zorig to investigate the Dark Apostles. Gwendolyn gifts Zorig the armor of Tarkus. Zorig yeah, because no guarantee of knights. Yeah, so Zorig travels to Drang Lake. Zorig collects Raimi's greatsword from Broom Tower. Yeah, that makes sense. And then honestly, I'm trying to think if there any opportunity for Zorig to be I'm trying to think if there's any opportunity for Zorig to be killing stuff like the Berserkers or things. It's possible. I have to think how that could possibly play in with the Karthus stuff, depending on when that happens. It's always possible that the stuff with Zorig happens shortly after the fall of Karthus as well. That's also a possibility. Pretty recent then that the Flame of Chaos would be dead in that case. Yeah, I'd have to think that one over more. Anyway, Zorig collects Raimi's greatsword from Broom Tower. Zorig kills, let's see, Lois knights are killed. And Lois knights are killed, and the old chaos is snuffed out. Actually, we'll put it like this, and Altsana. Yeah, we'll include her. And Altsana are killed, and the old is snuffed out from Broom Tower. Obviously no Nashandra. So that's it. Yeah, okay. That's the most relevant thing we have with him. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go and think over cross-references to see if we have anything, if I could like narrow down the timeline on when exactly the Flame of Chaos gets snuffed out here, right? Maybe even adjust when the when Islith drifts down here. Something to think about. All right. So we're gonna put that up here for now, but we'll see. I can move this around easily in the future. Thorik returns to Irithel. Yeah, we'll say that for now, yeah. We know how this ends up because he has to end up involved with all the Chaos Demons hunts and war and stuff, so okay. Keep that there for the time being. Meanwhile, cowardice or Bing. Yeah, there we go, war. So we have the ballista. Yeah, nothing else. Oh, a giant automated ballista. Lorian. With Lorian at the lead. Coalition force invades Izalith. Install. Oh, that's not it. I think I might cut this, but Drang Knights are killed. Just so we can remember that that's a thing. Lorian first. Demon Prince. The thing with his sword isn't important. I'll say this. Lorian kills the Demon Prince. The man kills the. See this. Izalith. Demons hide the fair lady and I think that's getting too into the weeds. The master kills Quaylana and the fair lady. The fair lady. And takes Quaylana's soul / hair. The master forges the Chaos Blade from Quaylana's soul, and then master gifts the all right, there we go. Quaylana's hair from the master. Gifted by the master. There we go. Something as simple as that. Doing so. Scarrick escapes, forges, Donald travels to Ariandel and goes mad. But Nurse turns into his exile. What else would we want to include here? Old Demon King stays alone. Yeah, that's fine. Coalition force returns home. Oh wait, almost for I killed Lautrec and others become, oh, what are they called? Sullivan's beasts, right? I was about to say Hounds of Tindalos. I was like, no, that's the internal name. Lorien takes lead. Lothric forces. Lothric and others receive black eyes from Sullivan. Black eye rings from Sullivan. Okay, yeah, I think that covers all the major bits. Yeah, that's just for okay. Let's see. Lothric takes Stray Demon as prisoner of war. Stray Demon becomes Lothric's gatekeeper. Chaos demons are slaughtered. Ainsleth. How do we put this? Let's put this Chaos Servant escapes with royal treasury and perishes. Let's put it like that. Yeah, there's a lot of ways I want to put it, but like I said, we don't need to like focus too hard on that. Kirk, we have that. Donald. Livid Pyromancer, we got that all covered with Donald, Drykeep. Yeah, we already know this is Drykeep stuff. We have the Chaos Demon here, but that's obviously very recent, so Old Demon King and Demon Deacons begin burying the dead. Yeah, and then that's basically what we have going on for till we face them, right? There's nothing too complicated there. We should just say it's the Chaos Demons. I don't want to say innocent population. I think it can get confusing. Yeah, I think that covers all the major beats of the conflict. Yeah, there's nothing else that really stands out to me. Cook. Oh no, because that's under Great Swamp, right? Refresh my memory on. Ta-da. Mm-hmm. That might be that. I might be worth mentioning Inky and stuff here. Yeah, okay, yeah, she probably comes after the fact. That's what I thought. I was like, yeah, this is about the other stuff. Those are okay, yeah. Okay. Okay, that's fine. So then, you know, it makes you wonder if Engi was still human by this point, or if he became a Chaos Demon himself, you know? It makes you wonder. Because it could be he was just bearing the eggs to bear them, right? Maybe give him a little, maybe help him feed a little for his lady. I wonder. It would be kind of cool if we got to see, like, Demon Engi, you know? Oh, well. Okay, I think that's the last bit then. Don't care about Kokulix then. On Keep. All right. That part is done, which means we should, I think, just be moving on to... Oh, wait, actually. Did I mention the beast coming home? I say coalition forces return home. That counts everybody. Yeah, let's move on to the Twin Prince stuff then with Lorien and everything. We got his wet nurse and everything. We have all that covered. Oh, there's also the sandworm, but yeah, let's cover sandworm here then. So okay, so sandworm, it's Karthus. Sandworm falls to smoldering lake. Let's say this in conflict. And becomes its new master. and clash with the Gravekeepers. And clashes with Gravekeeper resistance. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Actually, you know what? Yeah. Let's do this. I've been taken by the bigger, better fog. Do they have bigger, better demons? Because the Isla sure ain't bringing them. No bigger, better demons here, just dead ones. So Samurn clashes with Then Worm takes over as master of the lake. Karthus, Molnir sends expeditionary force. Let's just say sends skeletons to I mean, this is a bit early to put this, but yeah, we'll put it here for now, and then we'll add it. We can put it later. Molnir sends skeletons to dispatch to Smoldering Lake. Skeletons of force kill giant slaves operating ballista. Ballista. It's worth putting because we say the coalition force returns home. Giant slaves remain to operate the ballista. There we go. All right. Okay. So we got some of that stuff put down. All right. All right. Twin Princes time. Oseros become Oseros joins the cult of Seath. Oh no, that's afterward, right? No. Oseros collaborates with scholars to bond Lorien and Lothric. Oseros. Lorien becomes... It's not blind, right? It's mute invalid. Oseros joins the cult of Seath. let's see. Asaros gradually goes mad and becomes let's just put gradually goes mad. There we go. I just finished getting the platinum trophy in DS2. I never want to see another Sunlight Medal again. They really have to make a grind covenant trophy in every game. Okay. Like I get why they do it, because I assume the idea is that you can just you can get it faster online, and like the offline grinding is only required in the worst case scenario when the game's already dead anyway. But yeah, it is what it is. Also, yeah, the music does slap. Okay. Nature of the Egg seems like they kill human hosts when they hatched. I mean, the problem is it's a video game, so like everything's gonna guarantee kill you. I mean, just see how the seed capture sequence goes. So Asaros gradually goes mad. Asaros and Sullivan collaborate to make Asaros a dragon. Let's just say this for the sake of simplicity. Sullivan creates prisoners. Irithel prisoners become the failed to be. And Irithel prisoners become the failed to be, and the oh, 1 second, chat. The doggo wants me for a second. She's so cute here with her little rope ball. Sit. Good. Oh, almost flipped yourself on your back there, doggo. You gotta be careful how you're jumping. And she's gone back to her bed. Okay, so Irithel becomes so Irithel prisoners become the failed. You know what? We'll just go focus on the failed to be. Sullivan perfects transformation, and Asaros becomes white dragon. Sullivan experiments on prisoners with seats. Soul pieces. Area prisoners become the and experiments on his prisoners. Irithel prisoners become the failed to be and are harvested for what's the word? Harvested for their ooze. For Titan. Ooze. There we go. So and Osiris becomes white dragon. Jailers provide. I don't think we need to go that in depth for that. So Osiris becomes the white dragon. You're so cute. You're so cute, Sonny. You are the cutest doggo. She lays her head on me with her ball, this time on my lap, chat. How can I possibly ignore her when she's being so cute? All right, so sorry, I'm gonna have to do this with one hand. Ocelot is no doggo. Woo! Ocelot is born to Oceros and Guinevere. Oceros takes Ocelot to consumed king's garden. Retreats. Guinevere leaves. Yeah. I guess, yeah, Guinevere just has to leave Lothric now, yeah. There's other stuff we obviously need to put in between here, but Guinevere leaves. So this just the Oceros side of things. So Guinevere leaves Lothric. Yeah, I'll just put leaves Lothric. Priests. Now we don't need to mention what the priests create for that. Oh gosh. So let's see. Oceros retreats to consume King's Garden. I guess technically, him retreating with Ocelot probably happens before Guinevere. Because I mean, she still has to, like, you know, recover after giving birth, right? So I mean, granted, she's had so many kids, but still, I feel like, yeah, I feel like at the very least, it's fair to just be like, you know, Oceros might just take the kid right away and like head straight down. I think Guinevere would just kind of do that afterward, being like, okay, I'm done with this. Either way, it's about the same time. Anyway, we know he stays with his royal guard. Is there anything we want to put in between this? Oh, yeah, okay. Aldia, secretly mentors Lothric on firelinking. There's nothing Emma's really doing at this stage. Obviously we know what Aldi is doing. The Gertrude stuff we also know is happening in their background there, so Angel visits Gertrude. And teaches her. Let's see, Gertrude learns about divine pillars of light from an angel. Gertrude is captured in the Grand Archives and blinded / muted, right? If I recall. Let's just say, and tortured / experimented on. Gertrude writes, yeah. Let's put this. Starting early. While focused on the Droll Dragon thing. uh Oseros survives several assassination attempts. Let's see. I think we'll put that. Gertrude writes divine pillars of light and share it with select knights. Knights establish the angelic faith. Well, let's see this. Decipher writings and establish the angelic. Oh no, let's, instead of doing divine pillars of light, let's say writes down her revelations and shares it with select knights and establish the and secretly establish the angelic faith. There we go. Guinevere, yeah, okay. So he retreats to consume King's Garden with Allant. Guinevere leaves Lothric. Is there any other major stuff during the, oh yeah. Oseros Serva Oseros Royal Guard halts multiple assassination attempts. There we go. All right, there we go. Do that. Put there. Make it there. Add that. Gradually, Erithel prisoners fail to be. Gertrude is captured and torture experimented on. Oster survives multiple assassination attempts. Gertrude writes down and shares it with her knights, with select knights. Knights decipher writings and secretly establish the angelic faith. Celavon perfects transformation with Oseros and becomes white dragon. Let's see, and becomes a white dragon. White dragon. Ocelot is born to Oseros and Guinevere. Oseros retreats with Ocelot. Guinevere leaves Lothric. Oseros Royal Guard. I think we could say just personal guard for this. Personal guard halts multiple assassination attempts. I think that's enough there. Let's see. Secretly, I think secretly established the angelic faith already establishes the military built-up stuff. Lothric End is probably where we want to go next, right? Because I can't think of anything else here. Oh, a bad. Probably could do something better with the going mad part for Oseros' stuff. Anything else with Twin Princes we want? I know Lorien's basically going to do whatever Lothric wants at this point. Lothric is just doesn't do anything significant, right, until he's needed to link the fire. Same with Aldia. Aldia, you can argue, is pulling strings here, but like it's not something worth pointing out specifically. Same with Emma. Nothing really at this juncture. Anything from Kareem? No, not particularly. No. You could argue they're working with Londor to help engineer Lothric's collapse, but that's like, you know, that's neither here nor there. Yeah, okay, let's go straight to Lothric End then. Okay. Oh. The dog keeps coming back for more. She's a puller, I will say. She's quite the puller. Okay, yeah, so we have the attack with the decapitation. With our whole White Dragon Man. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. And this just goes into the backstory we already went through, so... there's nothing really to point out with Gertrude anymore, up to her death, of course. Alright, it's time. Lothric Collapse. Angelic... I forget, what are these knights specifically called? So, knights. Wing knights, there we go. Winged. The Winged Hussars, right? Winged Knights. Actually, that's something we can do, so, Angelic Faith begins build up for Winged Knights. There we go. Oh boy. Hey, doggo. You okay over there? As long as you're not chewing anything I care about. Each of the 3 games, where's Guinevere at by the time the Chosen Dead says like Kill Ash 1 show up on the scene? Dark Souls 1 in Thorland with Lloyd. Dark Souls 2 in Thorland with Lloyd. Dark Souls 3 God only knows. She just kind of left. She's out there. Who knows? Maybe crying in a cave somewhere for all we know. Winged Knights. Attack. Winged Knights plunge Lothric into civil war. We'll just say that for now. Proceed. The cage. Let's see. All the notes blind wide. Utterly inconvenient. Eclipse surely be the eclipse. Kingdom in pieces. So we should probably mention the evacuations, yeah. Let's put it like this. Launch attacks on Lothric Castle and City. Lothric Knights evacuate City to up to 2 walls. So we know that there we go. Lothric refuses to link the fire. The pus of man let's see. Pilgrims of Londor. Hollows of Londor begin pilgrimage to Lothric. That's fair. So, let's put this, fire linking system derailed. Lothric and Lorien. What's the word? Cut. Yeah, how do we put this? This one's a tricky one to word. Because they derail it. They derail, because like, okay, the system's derailed. Lothric, Lorien, you know, you two are our last hope. We really need Prince Lothric to get on and Firelink. He's not doing it. Oh no. That's not good. And then as we see, everything breaks down from there. So let's see. Let's put it like this. Fire linking system is disrupted. Lothric refuses to link the fire. This is arguably, you can make it its own bullet point and just say that the whole system gets disrupted. Pus of man explodes amongst populace. City walls. Undead. I think this could be our obvious in let's see, let's put this. Chaos and undeath run rampant. Again, I don't want to get confused with others, so Bedlam and undeath run rampant. Fire linking system is disrupted. Pus of man explode amongst the undead. And then what else do we want to highlight? Oh yeah, the eclipse and stuff, right? Okay, that's only mentioned here, there. Same thing idea here. What did I mention, Pus of Man? Is it up or down? Yeah, okay, here. Oh yeah, of course. Can't forget the high wall. The high wall emerges. Undead settlement. I don't think we need to mention the specifics of how, like, they're adapting and stuff to the high wall and everything. Right? The high wall emerges. Emma sends out envoys to Irithel. Sullivan sends let's see, Boreal Knights on foreign campaign. On campaign to Lothric. The dancer, Vort, is assigned as the dancer's monitor. The dancer is assigned as campaign force field captain. Let's just put it like that. Pontiff Knights set up headquarters in Undead Settlement Church. Put down here actually. Boreal Knights establish quarantine zone and contact with Emma. We want to mention sends Albert and Royal Guard Knight to monitor Emma. There we go. Yeah, we'll put that there. Yeah, we haven't really mentioned what the Corvines do and stuff, so I don't think we're gonna do that now. We don't need to mention the stuff on trying to fix things. Oh, of course. Where's Puss of Man? Grand Archives shuts its doors. To civil war. So let's see, the Grand Archive shuts its doors. You know what, we'll do this. We'll put it like this. There we go. Oh. Yeah. Schism erupts between Cult of Seath and Loyalists. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's another thing. File wall merges. Gatekeeper. No, was wrong. There's nothing significant. Lothric Bridge is broken and Gatekeeper goes rogue. Yeah, nothing else really to mention. I guess we can say stagnation is happening with everybody and everything, so I'm not sure I'd really want to point out. Maybe we should say stagnation accelerates, maybe. Howdy, Xavier. Good to see you in the chat. Anyway, oh. Yeah, the hunter stuff is probably the best. Not all of it, of course, happens. So obviously we still have to, we still have stuff with, so Gotthard. Yeah, there we go. Gotthard leaves castle to challenge Sullivan. You know, that actually that technically has to happen around the time we're already, because he's like more or less paralleling our journey, right? So yeah, even this we would want to put later. Ashen ones are awakened. And so, Bell of Awakening is rung in. Let's actually Firelink, Shrine, Bell Tower, and we don't need to mention that. So, Lords of Cinder are awakened and take thrones. Lords of Cinder. Yeah, I guess. Lords of Cinder abandon their thrones except for Ludleth. Ashen, Unkindled are awakened. Uh-oh, doggo. Doggo's going off. Unkindled are awakened. Hey, Kimley. All right, let's see. Ba-ba-ba. Got that. Take thrones, abandon their thrones except for Ludleth. Yeah, I think we'll just leave it at that because we don't need to be specific with who and stuff, right? Yeah, I don't think I want to get into like individual like NPC stuff right now. I think we want to focus on just the big pictures and get that established, and then we can go back and include the NPCs. 1 second, chat. I need to see what this dog is barking about. She saw a squirrel. That was what she was making a hullabaloo about. She saw a squirrel. Oh gosh. All right, so Unkindled are awakened, which would include the player, of course. So I think it's the solid like cutoff point. So then, is there anything else? Not really. Other stuff. Let's see. Let's get that. Let's go back to Lothric refuses. Grand Archives sides with Lothric. Duh. What a shocker. What a shocker. Aldi is the leader. Grand Archive sides with Lothric. Kamui sides with Lothric. Prince's personal guard sides with Lothric. We'll just go with that. I might want to reword that, but I think that's just fine to get the point across at the moment. Gertrude is still there. She hasn't been assassinated quite yet. Yeah, okay. Okay. I do feel like I could probably find a way to do that better, but that's for future Loki to worry about. Yeah, we don't need to mention the of course. Pus of Mayan runs rampant. Dead and wyverns. There we go. Let's clarify wyvern mounts. Yeah, we don't need to mention innocents and stuff killed. Yeah, we'll consider this under part of the military buildup. Part of the military buildup. Okay, yeah, I think that very clearly elucidates it. And then it's just a matter of all the post stuff. So let's actually include that, like we were mentioning here. So God leaves castle to challenge Sullivan. Gotthard returns to the castle and is killed by Hunter. Hunter assassinates Gertrude and is killed by what was it? Gertrude's 3 knights. That's like, what other major things do we have? Crystal Sage isn't really doing anything. Boreal Knights launch assault on Lothric Castle. Yeah, let's just get that for the actual castle gets attacked. Obviously, Lord is killed. Distress signal to Irithel, and Sullivan answers. Let's go for the individual lords. Aldrich returns to the cathedral. Well, let's just get each one. Okay, so Yorm's the easiest one to cover. Yorm returns to the profaned capital. Abyss Watchers return to Fallen and begin. Fallen Keep. Endlessly killing each other in Faron Mausoleum. Alders returns to the Cathedral of the Deep. The cathedral restarts the road of sacrifices. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, Yorm just basically returns there and does nothing else. Nothing relevant happens with him. Or with anything surrounding him either, right? Yeah, kindled or awakened. Nothing really relevant there. Okay. Let's start. I think this is probably relevant. Because you could argue when exactly Aldrich departs for Irithyll by the time we're awake and on the journey, right? I think it's fair because we're not even like the very first of the Unkindled Awaken, right? Like we're like part of like probably like second, fifth, who knows how many phases of Unkindled or Awakened one after the other, you know? Aldrich abandons fire linking and creates deep Cult of the Deep. Aldrich Cult of the Deep kill the Wavelight. Drang Knights fall and split. There we go. There we go. I don't think there's anything else really to mention. I think we need to mention mass hollowing. Maybe we should mention it for the Foreign Academy and stuff. Oh, well. Aldrich. Yeah, I think we could safely say that probably he's already done the whole fighting stuff with Gwendolyn and things already. At least they must have gotten to Irithyll by the time we wake up and stuff, so that way they're already like finished and he's already eating Gwendolyn by the time they're right. Though I feel like we can maybe say that even eating Gwendolyn was probably already happening by the time we wake up. But I think at least getting to Irithyll and starting the conflict is fair. Honestly, actually, this might be a better way to handle this, because the Unkindled are awakened, right? Because obviously they're not like in at least it's like, okay, all the Lords of Cinder leave, they leave and do their stuff, so they probably start awakening the Unkindled. Or let's see, Unkindled, Firelink Shrine, Unkindled begin to be awakened. So we'll just have that, so we can at least be acknowledging, like, yeah, this stuff is happening. And this could be its own separate thing. Aldrich, guess we'll be on them doing so. Pontiff Knights in Undead Settlement are killed. And then... Are the evangelists doing anything of note different from when the Road of Sacrifice was being restarted? Not really, I don't think. How close are we to an Ashen Archive? Abyssal Archive 3 is... I would not want to come out with it before an Abyssal Archive 2. So, and obviously, as I said before, with both 2, 3, and all of it, I'd want to finish my analysis 100% with them. Though I'm basically done with both of them, if I'm being honest. Pot of Knights and Undead Settlement are killed. What are we gonna do now? I guess evangelists would... Let's say this, because there is the fanaticism stuff, right? Like going like full balls to the wall, like everyone's getting killed. So, evangelists begin mass purge. Begin purging dissent. I think that's fair. That's basically what we're seeing when we get to the settlement and stuff. Did I ever mention? Okay, yeah. Yeah, probably put this... Yeah, I have to think about this one a bit more. So yeah, sometime in the past, like probably 5-ish years. Oh God. 1 second, chat. Now it's birds! This dog! Ah! Can she not get mad at every single animal that eludes her? Let's go back for the deep for this, so... Mm-hmm. Yeah, so still doing that. Oh, I didn't mention, let's do that. Sullivan collects maggot and reviving corpses as specimens. There we go. Back to that. Cleansing chapel, that's just for some of the practices. Age of the Deep Seas, the Dampmen. Again, that's Dreadkeep stuff. And there's his revelation. Blah, blah, blah. We don't care. Yeah, so then he goes, okay. All right, so let's get back down here. Aldris embarks. Aldrich becomes the God Eater. Aldrich and McDonald depart with army. Travel to Irithel with army. Forget travel. Invade Irithel with army. There we go. How do we want to put this? Actually, who cares about Royce? We don't need to mention it at all. That's not important. Yeah. Aye. Nick, I'm sorry I can't help you with being backwards. You're gonna have to figure that out on your own. Pull Michael Jackson or something. Alright, so Aldrich and McDonald invade Irithel with army. Pontiff knights are killed. Sullivan surrenders and offers up Gwendolyn. Aldrich begins slowly devouring Gwendolyn. Defenders. Let's just call it the localization name, the Aldrich Faithful. With that in mind, we could probably safely go with Browns backwards. That's funny. Sullivan secretly disposes of McDonald. Sullivan reanimates Pontiff knights and spirits. What's her name? Doris? I forgot how that's spelled. Doris is captured in city prison. Ben. Sullivan secretly disposes of McDonald in Cathedral Garden Reservoir. All right. Aldrich and army. Silver Knights are killed. Gwendolyn dreams of his mother Priscilla or his sister Yorshka. Gwendolyn dreams of Yorshka, yes. Yeah, he dreams of Yorshka. It's about the think it was the pale girl, right? They call it, I think, pale girl in hiding, but it's really about, from what I recall, improper is the one who was hidden. Like it has the wording to give the sense of being like who was or had been or who has been hidden away, right? Obviously Priscilla's already dead. So it definitely is seeming to be an allusion to Yorshka, who, of course, we find having been hidden away by Sullivan. So Silver Knights are killed and become hollows. Yeah, I think we should mention the hollows, because we mentioned hollowing for stuff in Dark Souls 1 with like Undead Berg and things, with hollows multiplying. And we should probably do the same. Yeah, we should probably do the same for Dark Souls 2. So I think Dark Souls 3, yeah, I have to go back and probably just add, okay, and everyone hollows here, everyone hollows there. Which, I mean, it's not that much. It's like, what, far? I don't think correct me if I'm wrong, I don't remember if the handmaids are considered hollows in Profane Capital, but in Irithyll Dungeon, I guess, too. But it would have to be Faron, Cathedral of the Deep, obviously Undead Settlement, Lothric Castle, of course, and Lothric, I guess, in general. Maybe Irithyll. I guess it depends on whether the slaves were already hollows or becoming hollows or not. Okay. Yeah, Sullivan secretly disposed of McDonald Cathedral Garden Reservoir. I guess that's all the relevant stuff for us. Is he doing anything significant? No, because there's the Royal Manor and stuff. That's about it. Yeah, this is gonna be a little annoying, but I'm gonna have to look at that. All right, so we've got. Yeah, I think that establishes all the major events. Aldrich and Sullivan are the ones that are doing the most like stuff. Once the main the main premise of the plot kicks up with the Lords of Cinder and the Unkindled, so. We don't, like I said, we don't need to mention Royce, just like, oh, Royce is stuck back in guard. It's like, okay, fine, whatever. Crystal Sage isn't really doing anything significant at this juncture. Nothing really on the Rosaria side either. Again, I'm trying to ignore all the NPCs and stuff that we meet who are somehow at least tangentially related to the Unkindled mission. Don't care about any of the stuff with the Corvians. Like we said, there's Gotthard. And there's our player actions. I guess stuff with the Swordmaster. I have to double check on him. Oh god, the doggo's whining again, Chad. I might have to go check on her. Yeah, I think that covers most of the big events. There's nothing where I'm like, oh yeah, I should really be mentioning this. There's nothing really in the jailers we need to add, I'm pretty sure. And then obviously stuff with Alva showing up. That's about concurrent with the player though, so I'm not that concerned. Honestly, I think we should. Oh no, because some of the Alva stuff would be technically DS2 lore. Yeah, we would have to put in the DS2 timeline. In that case, all right, I think that covers that. Like I said with Faron, there's not much left. Abyss Watchers show up and start killing each other. There's nothing really more to add there. The Dark Race are going to challenge them, but like I think we already have like the Dark Race like wreaking havoc. I think that's already fair enough for earlier. Like they're already around. Lola's not doing anything. Shrine-Maid's not doing anything. Nothing's really happening with Vinheim, I don't think. Besides, technically, I guess, Yol. Okay. Looking at this in its totality, I think we can... I think we now focus on the Londor angle. And the Ariandel stuff that intersects with Londor. Actually, first... let's focus on the Elfrida stuff related to Londor. There we go. Okay. Okay. Okay, this is the... All right, here. Might be the connection between Vinheim and Yol. It's implied that he studied at Vinheim, or at least tried to attend the school before he became a citizen of Londor. So basically before he turned undead. Hey, who knows? Tried to pay the tuition, might have gotten him killed for all we know. Londor's first big plan. All right, so let's see. Elfrida. Attempts to become Lord of Hollows. Elfrida becomes unkindled. Unlike the others will say. I guess for the others, I should say becomes unkindled and is sealed for them. Just to make this make it more obvious why I'm pointing that out for them. Yeah. So really, only thing worth mentioning here is wait a second. There we go. Huh? Am I crazy? Why is this now here? What did I do? How did I do this? Why do I keep doing these things? Okay. Right, like... down here. Sure, whatever. Elfrida, Sparks. Sure, whatever. Enters untainted graves. Firekeeper returns from untended graves and cleanses Elfrida's dark sigil. The dark sigil. Consumed by black flame. Elfrida's black flame becomes smolder. There we go. Da-da-da. Okay, yeah. Elfrida abandons Londor. Elfrida gifts Wilhelm what does he give Wilhelm again? What's it called? Not Onyx Blade. Is it? Wait, it's not Onyx. Oh, it is Onyx, okay. Okay. Just need to scroll a little bit more. There we go. Elfrida travels to Arundel and becomes chapel nun. We know she reinvents herself. Right. Can't forget Wilhelm and Londor. Other Londor knights follow Rena and become her shadows. Secretly become All right, we'll word it like that. Return. Okay, yeah, this is all like the post stuff, so let's focus now on Ariandel. Let's see, Frida. Trying to draw. Frida befriends the painter. Say Ariandel and the painter. I can't remember if the rot begins before or after Frida enters. Ariandel begins rotting. Yeah, the rot. Yeah, it has to happen afterward, yeah. Because she's there doing stuff with all the residents and stuff, and then the rot has to start, yeah. That's when and then it's been allowed to fester and grow more over time. So after starting to see it, that the citizens start changing their ways. All right, so yeah, okay. Yeah, because she doesn't have to worry about the prophecy or whatever, right? And Corvian settlement. Resolve to burning the painting. Ariandel, Rita and Ariandel collaborate to stop the painting burning. Rita trains the Corvian Knights. Ariandel suppresses the flame with his blood. There we go. Da-da-da. The embers. There we go. Ah, 1 second, chat. Looks like dog's doing stuff. It's everything at this point. Everything. Gonna have to give her or take her on a very long walk today, I feel. If we were to see any universal continuity between the FromSoft games, I think it would be only right to see the cold, dark, and very gentle place the painter's. I mean, if we are going to see another game, yes, it would probably be cool if they brought back and we get to see the new painting world, right? But I'll be honest, just let it die. I beg you, let it all die. All right. Endlessly suppressing. Corvian Knights begin oppressing the Corvian settlement. Allant. Secretly captures the painter in the Corvian library, in the Corvian archive, in the settlement archive. Okay, let the fire fade, bro. Exactly my point. I don't care even at this point if they decide they are going to do the Age of Dark. Just let it end. Just give me my cool spin-offs in other parts of the world that have nothing to do with freaking fire and dark and all these stupid plot lines about the fate of the universe. I don't care about the fate of the universe. I care about the countries and characters. Nothing else we really need to point out here. Plotting, da-da-da. Right. Okay, yeah. You know what? In fact, impressing the masses. When did Gale leave again? It has to be before, right? Yeah. That's what I thought. Okay, yeah. Gale embarks, leaves on mission to find second ash and painters and the painter's pigment. There we go. So yeah, we'll have that. Gale. Yeah, it's all the current stuff we're seeing. I don't think we need to mention the stuff with the rot more. Yeah, okay. I think it's enough for now. I think that condenses the main points. I'll just put this here for now. Actually, no, let's make it its own thing. Oh, that's right. Foreign followers we didn't factor. Far on followers. Abandon. Keep. Followers. Travel to Ariandel. What actually? Followers travel to Ariandel and what's the word? They travel to Ariandel and wander outskirts. I think that's fair, right? Wander the fringes. Yeah, that's fair. Millwood. For now, Millwood. Midir. Destroys. Holy Tree. Millwood Knights. Abandon home. Abandon their forest and become hollows. Millwood collapses. Corrupted Midir destroys the holy tree and Millwood collapses. Undead Millwood Knights abandon their forest to make their forest and wander the earth. Knights travel to Ariandel and become hollows on the outskirts. Yeah, we'll do that. They'll do it eventually. I hope not. I hope not. I hope they have the good sense to just let it die. Okay, so maybe some of the backstory on Millwood stuff we'd want to include, but that would again be something we potentially want in the Dark Souls 2 or something timeline maybe. Or, you know, actually we could have it in earlier in this 3 one, but that's not the focus right now. For now, let's put the focus on... Oh, I didn't mention the giant blacksmith dying. Starting to question how much I want to. You know, I'm only gonna mention the hollowing thing if it's like something like en masse, right? Yeah, okay. Yeah. Alright, so Knights and Giant Blacksmith are killed. There we go. Save us a point. No, nothing with Emma, because obviously she hasn't met us yet. Emma's fate's also optional because we can kill her or not, so I think we should be as vague as possible when it comes to the fates of Emma and the dancer. Okay. I think that's all the stuff relevant to Frida leading up to the player stuff. Obviously, it needs a little more organization, but I think we're getting there. All right, let's go through what we have so far, chat, and see if any of it's making any sense. Because we're already at page 14. We're at the same page as what the DS1 timeline ended up at, and we're now obviously half of that is all this stuff to remove to a DS2 timeline. I don't think we have any 1 stuff left here, right? No, yeah, all this would be post 1. Okay. Still though, we're the fact that we're basically where the other timeline is at, and we're not done. Like, we haven't done any of the mid-game stuff or any of the future stuff with the Drag Keep and beyond. So, oh boy, ain't that gonna be a treat? All right, RIP to a real one. Okay, guys. So, Harvest Valley, Earthen Peak, drag to the Drag Keep in the future. Path of the Dragon Cult is established in Lothric. You know what? Let's not say in Lothric. On Lothric Frontier. There we go. Wandering Firstborn encounters the Mother Dragon at Archdragon Peak. Firstborn recruits the Mother Dragon as an ally. Snakemen join Dragon Alliance and construct construct temple on Peak. Firstborn establishes cult for pilgrims to become dragons. Wandering Ornstein encounters Firstborn and joins. Honestly, I don't think we need to go through the sub-bullet points at this point. I think for those that I've actually organized, I think we're fine. Stagnation accelerates. Pestilman begins manifesting an undead outside of the Ring City. The Mother Dragon petrifies on Archdragon Peak. There may be other stuff that we want to highlight in this, but nothing's coming to mind at the moment. The first flame drifts to Lothric with Drangleic / Lordran. Wyverns of Dragonary run rampant in Lothric. I think that could be a sub-bullet point. Yeah. There we go. Gundyr encounters Firstborn at Archdragon Peak. Gundyr unites tribes and founds the kingdom of Lothric. Firstborn, Lothric priesthood adopts Path of the Dragon and Way of Light syncretism. I like how I rewrote that already. Aldi establishes Lothric's Grand Archives on Forest Mount as the first scholar. Gundyr and knights hunt the wyverns. Lothric constructs castle and city on Forest Mount. Lands begin drifting to Lothric and are destroyed. More lands gradually drift to Lothric and are destroyed. Gradually is not. Steadily, we'll say. More lands steadily drift to Lothric and are destroyed. Isleth and Ash Lake drift to Lothric. Again, this is as early as I'm gonna put this. Same with the Faron thing for drifting. Lothric's pillars crystallize. The undead are exiled to outside the city and found the undead settlement. Exiled undead found the undead settlement. Found settlement outside the city. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Fire linkings multiply exponentially. Anor Londo drifts to Lothric. Lothric forms peace agreement with Anor Londo, Irithyll. Actually, you know what we consider. Wait, do I even mention? I guess what we can have is Anor Londo here, and I can mention the build up. I'll have to remember in the future, because I'm not like, how's that transition going to work? Way of White and Kareem increases pressure on Velka. Gwendolyn reveals to the world that he is male. The Way of White falls into civil turmoil. Velka reinvents herself in Kareem as Keitha. Gwendolyn supplants Lloyd as Allfather of the Way of White. Gwendolyn's other gathers God's descendants in the God's descendants in Irithyll. Kareem supplants Thorland as center of the Way of White in the old world. The Way of White begins undead mission for fire linking. The whole stuff with Zorig, hunts Dark Race and other knights. Gwendolyn hires Zorig to investigate the Dark Apostles. Gwendolyn gives Zorig the armor of Darkness. Honestly, this could probably just be... There we go. Returns to Irithyll from investigation. Figure out what we can do with all that. But yeah, all that stuff happens while he's getting hired and all that. Corlin falls. Lilith attracts Soul Feeder with Soul Transposition. Corlin bans Soul Transposition. Corlin collapses. Lords of Cinder as collective become the Soul of Cinder. Lothric recruits Ludlith to improve on fire linking system. Old Gundyr embarks on fire linking mission. First Firekeeper awaits Gundyr's return. Ludlith links the fire. Defeated Gundyr returns from undead graves. Gundyr is punished to become I think the best thing we can have is actually... Yeah. There we go. I feel like this portion I want to do something with, but we'll think about it. Light removed from the eyes of subsequent firekeepers. Braille scriptures are created for blind holy women in the Way of White. Actually, no, because it also applies to Lothric, because they have Braille scriptures there too. Way of White / Lothric. We'll just say both. Post Gundyr, Firelink Shrine Cemetery of Ash falls to ruin and yeah, I don't really need to mention the ceiling, but yeah. Firelink Shrine Cemetery of Ash falls to ruin and becomes graveyard. Mortuary building becomes Firelink Shrine. Firelink Shrine bell tower is constructed. Yeah. Firekeeper bodies are moved to the bell tower. Undead priest becomes Cemetery of Ash gravekeepers. The Black Hand are established. The undead settlement gathers all manner of curses. Kareem Church establishes presence in Lothric Castle. Dark Race attack Lothric and are killed / captured. At some point that happens. Ariandel revolution. So Priscilla secretly teaches the painter to paint a new world. Father Ariandel kills Priscilla. Wilka announces the Ashen Prophecy. Painter becomes immortal. Kind of sub point here. Eldest daughter Yorshka travels to Irithyll with Priscilla's body and painting guardians. Gwendolyn names Yorshka and gives her the Holy Bell. Church of Yorshka is constructed and Priscilla is buried. Irithyll area becomes the Boreal Valley. Yeah, some of this stuff I think we could simplify and make it its own bullet point as well. Irithyll area becomes the Boreal Valley. Corvus Silithos began wandering the world looking for converts. Do we want to keep it here or move it to earlier? I'm trying to think if there's anything. No, yeah, because the stuff with Gwendolyn and Orlando and things, yeah. So I guess it would just be a question of is it realistic for Yorshka to have shown up while Gundyr was still reigning, or is that too many events happening during one human lifetime or human reign, I guess you should say, right? Like that's like all this has to happen with Gundyr within the span of a number of decades at most, right? Even if we assume Gundyr started this as a fairly young king, right? Like how old could we imagine him potentially being when we face him? Like what, like 80 maybe 90 or something? if we really want to push it. I mean, granted, it's not like From Software has been are against having the Master Roshis or something, right? Like, you're gonna have a lot of like old men who are like still badasses, right? I mean, just look at Sullivan. Dude's old, he still got it. The people of Lothric did not know how to run the country, but they sure made good. Hey, I mean, they had a good run. Lothric had it going for a while. You got so far with this one. I will say, I have gotten pretty far with this timeline, even though we've got so much more to do. ER movie set picks post are getting kind of exhausting. I'm not trying to follow them too closely, but for the ones I've seen, I'm just worried that it's going to look cheap. Like, it's going to look like someone's fan film. It's hard to say because, you know, when you see these leaked images and stuff, they're not, you know, they're not made for quality the same way that a film might be. So we'll just have to see how it all turns out. I hope, though, they don't take away the color from ER, though. Like, I hope they don't make it, like, bland and gray like so many Hollywood films become. Like, like, Elden Ring is characterized by its bright colors, almost like a pastel painting or something sometimes. So it's one of those things where I hope they don't try to drain it of that. Like, come on. You don't need your editor to just turn up the grayscale. You can also make it turn up the saturation on stuff, you know? We will see. Corvian storytellers begin wandering the world of man for converts. Profane priests discover Logan's scroll. Priests become Big Hat successors. Okay, around here, we're starting to get, like, rough estimates of years we could potentially be working with. Wolnir conquers Jugo, becomes king of Karthus. Karthus War develop their own swordplay and pyromancy. Karthus conquers neighbors and beyond. Wolnir kills and robs clerics of holy relics. I would even make this case. Yeah. Yorm is born to Wolnir. Wolnir kills all other kings and becomes High Lord. Yorm defects to Profane Capital and becomes their king. Yorm defends Profane Capital from all invaders. As I said before, we might put Gale stuff with Marah in this Karthus section as well. Which works, because, yeah, we only have... There's nothing really... Yeah, Gale and the Painter have a close relationship, but it's never implied to be... like something so ancient or going back to, like, say, the days with her mother or anything. So yeah, that works. Yeah, that still works timeline wise. Wolnir kills all other kings, becomes High Lord. Defends Profane Capital from all invaders. Wolnir encounters Berserker at Broom Tower and invites him as honored guest. Invites him home. I guess we'll keep that. Wolnir discovers Dark Pyromancy and kills Berserker. Yeah. Kills the Berserker. Wolnir embraces faith for holy relics and learns necromancy. Honestly, the fact that it's just the one Berserker might actually lend credence to the idea that Zorig events with Zorig have already happened beforehand. Because we have to consider, like, what would be... We know that there was an entire army of Berserkers, so there's two options. Either A, all but this one had hollowed and died, right? They've all perished, right? They just... Because they're... Again, we know from... we only fight them as invaders at Broom Tower, and they are invading spirits, I should say. So we know they're around, but we don't necessarily kill them by default. And obviously, the tower's already in ruins. It just has some dangerous stuff, which, of course, stops with Nadalia being killed. And they do... I mean, it's never said explicitly, but for all intents and purposes, they're basically knights. So they're definitely something that you could see Zorig at least, you know, being enthusiastic about killing. So I could definitely see it. Yeah, something to consider. A24 films at the very least always look good. Whether or not they capture the art direction of the game is a different topic. Okay, good to know. Know nothing about the studio, so. Wolnir embraces faith for holy relics, learns necromancy. Karthus gathers and kills entire population. Karthus is converted into catacomb. Owned by squires, gravekeepers. Gravekeepers reanimate Wolnir army and rewards with dark powers. Yeah, so I feel like more of this I could probably simplify and stuff, but good. We basically have this established. Carthage drifts to Lothric. Izalith invades like I said, if we're gonna put Izalith as early as when the lands start drifting after Lothric is established, and potentially are even responsible for why we don't see the Izalith ruins, but at the very least this would be consistent with the timeline, even if we assume that Carthus not long after the drift to what's the word? If not long after the events with Wolnir, it has the drift here. And it's like, okay, it overlaps with Izalith, and then all that happens. Carthus abandons lower tombs. Old Demon King converts abandoned tombs into palace. Irithyll constructs. There we go. Yeah, here, let's do this. There we go. So all that into one thing. Pyromancers emigrate. Donald marries the Fair Lady, learns Chaos Arts from Demon Deacons. Fair Lady is cured and lays new eggs. New demons are born from hatched parasites. Old Demon King selects Demon Priests from among demons as successor. I don't think we need to get that in depth. Profane capitals decline. Yorm acquires 2 storm rulers from the far. Yeah, fine. Yorm gives 1 storm ruler to his subjects. Noble priests and their handmaids fall. Honestly, I'll have to think about how I want to like phrase that. I may just like combine that and make it into one point. Noble priests and their handmaids fall into degeneracy. Nah. Degeneracy covers it all. Lenar is born to Yorm and his queen. The queen dies and Yorm discards shield. Profane flame is created, right? Katarina invades the profane capital. Yorm encounters the profane Siegward. Yorm links the fire. Noble priests conduct ritual and burn palace. Siegward turns undead and becomes unkindled. The abandoned profane capital drifts to Lothric at some point. Abyss Watchers. Old Wolf of Varon collaborates with the undead to establish the Abyss Watchers. Abyss Watchers construct Varon Keep with Lothric's blessing. Construct Mausoleum over the catacombs of Karthus. Travel the world hunting the Abyss. Corrupted Abyss Watchers are killed by Varon followers. I don't think we even need to mention that, honestly. Varon followers are established. Yeah, we don't need to mention their specific role, I guess. Let's just put it like that. And then Hawkwood deserts Varon Keep. Dream Chaser is born to High Priestess and Hodrick, or Shrine Handmaid, we can say. Dream Chaser becomes Warrior Sunlight in Lothric. Sirius is born to Dream Chaser. Osseros is born to in Lothric. High Priestess, Shrine Handmaid raises Osseros as his wet nurse. Kamui assassinates High Priestess. High Priestess turns undead and becomes the Shrine Handmaid. Osseros becomes King of Lothric. Kamui is promoted to the Black Hand. Osseros marries the Queen of Lothric. Guinevere provides blessings to warriors of Cemetery Ash and tended graves. Gertrude is born to Osseros and Guinevere. Gertrude becomes Guinevere's holy woman. Lorien and Lothric are born to Osseros and Guinevere. Emma raises Lothric as his wet nurse. High Priest Stonehunt Hag raises Lorien as his wet nurse. Lorien learns miracles from priests and sorcery from scholars. Lothric learns miracles from priests and sorcery from scholars. Lorien learns miracles from priests and swordplay from knights. Albert becomes captain of Lothric's personal guard. Yeah, some of this stuff I think we can remove as extraneous or not necessary to follow in the timeline of events. These are just like I feel like this stuff. Yeah, who cares? Who cares? It's not relevant. Irithel Knight Fun Times, Sense of Dragon Lake from Dragon Knights. Memorabilia, hired as inheritors of Fire Lucky Legends. Here's comes Dark Moon Knight. Hodrick turns undead, is exiled as Madman. Hodrick travels to the undead settlement, establishes Mound Makers. Rise of Londor. Koth encounters the 3 undead sisters. Primordial serpents perish. The 3 sisters topple historic government, establish the Sable Church. Let's just keep it like this. Historic government is toppled, or he is killed, and the 3 plunge Astora to a civil war. I have to think how I want to word that, but we'll keep it like that just so it's simplified. Anyway, Sable Church destroy Astora and found Londor. Sullivan is born, learns sorcery. Young Sullivan travels to integrate himself to Gwendolyn. Gwendolyn tasks Sullivan with expanding Irithel sewers. Gwendolyn falls ill and takes holiday to Anor Londo ruins. Sullivan stages coup in Irithel. Sullivan establishes Irithel dungeon sewers on outskirts. Sullivan enacts tyranny. The Dragon School sends sorcerer swordsmen on special mission to Irithel. Velka sends spies from Londor to Irithel. Crystal Sages discover Logan's sorcery scrolls. Crystal Sages wander the world as beget successor. Grand Archives recruits them. Crystal Sages spread the cult of Seath. Knights posted in the archive convert and learn sorcery. Well, that counts as part of the cult of Seath. We don't really need to. Crimhild bandits Firekeeper trained to become Crystal Sage's apprentice. One sage gives her crystal. Honestly, we don't even need to mention what one sage does. We just need to, yeah. Yeah, some of these points is just like, okay, these are details we don't need to follow the timeline of events. Holy Spring, the Deep is discovered in Faron Forest. Undead, Abyssal Corrupted cleanse themselves in the deep and perish. No, we don't care about, like I said. Aldrich becomes a man-eater. Cathedral begins attempts to cleanse the deep of Aldrich's corruption. Sullivan and Allsource collaborate to establish the Road of Sacrifices. Lothar Crystal Sage form pact with Faron Keep. Hazel is born. Sora sends his royal guard and slaves to the cathedral. Might be a better way to incorporate that. Rosaria becomes the Cathedral Deep's prisoner. Aldrich. Just because it says they collaborate doesn't necessarily. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Aldrich links the fire. The Cathedral of the Deep cleans up after Aldrich. Cathedral of the Deep slips into depravity. Fingers of Rosaria are established. Fingers of Rosaria hunt Orson Henry. Abyss Watchers link the fire. Faron begins lycanthropons. Faron Keep falls to ruin. Faron followers abandon Keep. Drifters establish the Xanthos Scholars. Sullivan encounters lycanthrope and Xanthos Scholars as specimens, or collects them, I should say. Sullivan takes interest in Dust 3 White Trees. Dream Chaser turns undead, is exiled to the undead settlement. The Dragon School sends sorcerer swordsman on special mission to Faron Keep. Crystal Sage begins studying the deep. Hawkwood links the fire. Drifters of Faron encounter the Old Wolf and establish the Watchdogs of Faron. Dark Rays travel to the Cathedral of the Deep and join Fingers of Rosaria. Dark Rays travel to Faron Keep and wreak havoc. Hazel joins the Fingers of Rosaria. Magamen visit Irithel. Leonhard travels to Cathedral of the Deep and joins the Fingers of Rosaria. Vinheim purges the Dragon School spy network. Orbic turns undead and travels to Faron Academy for research. Cornix restores lost pyromancies. Engi's poison pyromancy is accepted despite heresy. Undead pyromancers travel to Faron Keep to settle in swamps. Corrupted meteor destroys the holy tree. The holy tree, and Millwood collapses. Undead Millwood Knights abandon their forest and wander the earth. Knights travel to Ariandel and become the Hollows on the fringes. Old Cornix turns undead, travels to the undead settlement. Honestly, you might even be able to include this like in the middle of our whole undead settlement falling into fanaticism thing. Chaos Demon Huns. Oh god, yeah, this is a big one. Sullivan and Allsource form coalition force. Let's take this. Oh, made a mistake there. Wall trick. There we go. Few points that we want to keep there. Coalition force invades Izalith. There we go. All right, coalition force slaughter Engi and Izalith population. then they return. Yeah, okay. Giant slaves remain to operate ballista. Kirk escapes. One second, wanted to check on the dog real quick. I was like, what the hell was that sound? All right. Old Demon King, Demon Deacons, Donal Forge's Chaos Blade. Yeah, let's do this. No, that's not what I wanted. Oh. Okay, yeah. What was... There we go. Yeah, let's include this all. Oh my god, I'm... Alright, Old Demon King... Travel Star Indel goes mad. Yeah. Some of this stuff, like the wet nurse thing, could be its own separate thing, but for now it's fine. Sandworm drifting to Karthus invades catacombs. Sandworm clashes with Gravekeeper resistance. Ground collapses and Sandworm falls to Smoldering Lake. Sandworm takes over as Master of the Lake. Wolnir sends anti-worm force to Smoldering Lake. Skeletons force giant slaves operating the ballista. I might want to just mention I think we should just mention Sandworm up here, right? Karthus, Sandworm caught in drift. Explores underground. Or wanders underground. Yeah, that's fine. Just say Karthus Sandworm begins wandering underground. That's fine. And then... Where the hell? Where the hell is my place? Oh, it's down here. Yeah, okay. There's the Sandworm. Londor's first big plan. Afraid to fail to become Lord of Hollows with Dark Sigil, she abandons Londor. Travels Star and Dell becomes a Chapel Nun. Villanelle other Londor Knights follow her and secretly become her shadows. Might want to keep this as a sub-bullet point. We'll have to think about that one. Ariandel begins rotting and Corvian settlement resolved to burn the painting. Just say Corvians. Frida and Ariandel collaborate to stop the painting from burning. And now for the Lothric decline. So Osros collaborates with the scholars to pawn Lorien and Lothric. Lorien becomes an invalid. Osros joins the cult of Seath. Osros gradually goes mad. Osros and Sullivan collaborate to turn Osros into Seath. Sullivan receives Seath's soul piece, experiments on his prisoners. Failed to do so. Yeah, like a lot of these, this has to be organized. This can be organized into much simpler bullet points for sure. Mentors Lothric. Gertrude learns about the divine pillars from an angel. Gertrude's captured the divine grand archives and torches experimented on. Osros survives multiple assassination attempts. Gertrude writes down her revelations, shares it with select knights. Knights decipher writings and secretly establish the angelic faith. Angelic faith begins build up for winged knights. Sullivan perfects transformation. Osros becomes a white dragon. Ocelot is born to Osros and Guinevere. Osros retreats to Consume King's Garden with Ocelot. Guinevere leaves Lothric. Osros' personal guard holds multiple assassination attempts that we see. Winged Knights launch attacks on Lothric Castle and City. Lothric Knights evacuate city to walls. Hollows of Londor begin pilgrimage to Lothric. Bedlam and Undeath run rampant. Fire linking system is disrupted. Lothric refuses to link the fire. Plus a man explodes amongst the undead and wyvern mounts. Grand Archives shuts its doors. Schism erupts between Cult of Seath and Loyalists. Lothric sends Albert and Royal Guard Knight to monitor Emma. The Holy Wall emerges. Lothric Bridge is broken and Gatekeeper goes rogue. Emma sends out distress signal to Irithyll and Sullivan answers. Sullivan sends Boreal Knights on campaign to Lothric. The Dancer is assigned as the field. Again, this would be a... Lord is assigned as the Dancer's monitor. Ponto Knights set up headquarters. Establish quarantine zone. Contact with Emma. Boreal Knights launch assault on Lothric Castle. Lords of Cinder are awakened and take thrones. I could again see this also being combined. I could see all this being combined into one point instead. Anyway, Lords of Cinder are awakened and take thrones. Lords of Cinder abandon their thrones except for Ludlith. And Unkilled begin to be awakened. Aldrich abandons Fire Lake. He creates the Cult of the Deep. He becomes the God Eater. And then we're back into We Awaken. All right, that's a lot. I'm not gonna lie, chat. That is a lot. That is a lot already. Again, there's still stuff to organize and stuff, but like, whoo, boy. I mean, this is just by the time the player gets involved. And as we know, there's a lot of stuff that we're involved in. We could probably simplify a lot of it, right? I have to consider though, because like I said, there's still the stuff with Gotthard, the Hunter, the assassination of Gertrude and stuff that we also have to consider. So that has to occur. Yeah, we still have the Ring City. Oh god, yeah, there's all the Ring City stuff with Shira, Midir, and everybody. We could probably put Midir's return though as like before even these events though, right? Before obviously the stuff with us are there. It seems like Midir's been there for a little bit. So sometime after the Millwood stuff and before the player stuff, so that's something to consider. I have to factor the Alva stuff in as well with everything else. Obviously, like I said, Dreadkeep is a big thing because obviously we have all the stuff with us in the present, but then also the future, then with the Dreadkeep and all the stuff happening leading up to us re-entering the scene at the Dreadkeep and the kiln of the First Flame. I think the actual boss part, though, that part tends to be very simple. Like I said, I just have to be careful with optional stuff, like I probably won't mention if Dancer is killed and stuff like that, because that's it's optional when exactly you kill her. So I'm not even sure if you know what, we'll assume that we kill Dancer later. I think that's fair, right? Like, we're not going to assume you kill Emma right off the bat. We'll assume you aren't killing the NPCs for this until there's a fourth game which tries to contradict me and tell me, no, you definitely killed Dancer the moment after you slaughtered Emma like a cold-hearted bastard you are. Until that is affirmed as canon, I think it's fair. We'll just work with the assumption that Emma has to get killed by Dancer first. Undead settlement stuff, not really in the present day. No. Curse Rod of Greatwood, maybe mention that the Curse Rod of Greatwood acts up. But again, that's an optional boss fight technically, so it's like whatever. It's not worth mentioning. Slaves there. Oh yeah, with the stuff with the slaves and what's her face, Zoe. Have to the Untended Grave stuff with Gunder to complete the time loop. Archdragon Peak stuff is all optional. Oh, we should there's some stuff in the is there anything on bridge? Trans. There we go. Da-da. Yeah, okay, yeah. This part we need to add. This part does need to be added. What's happening here? Okay, yeah, this is just all the present stuff with our firstborn. With our favorite firstborn. Okay. Yeah, so this isn't relevant for us. The focus should be just on these first few areas, yeah. I don't think I need to mention the wyvern even, right? Yeah, okay. Oh yeah, and we have to mention Ornstein entering the meditation stuff, so okay, yeah. In that case, that's going to be next time then. We'll figure out where to fit the last bit of Archdragon stuff. Archdragon Peak stuff, I should clarify. And then I think, I don't know if we'll be finished by next time, but we'll definitely, I think, at least make it to the Dread Keep and the Ring City stuff for sure. I don't know if we'll complete it. Okay. Well, it is what it is. Chat, I want to thank you guys. Sorry for the technical difficulties and stuff with how this stream was handled. I appreciate you all, but I'm gonna just have to cut it short here and kind of get going. Like I said, the dog's been barking at every little thing, so I think I want to go take her out and have some fun with her. I think this timeline though is it's better than it was yesterday, so I feel like there's probably stuff I still want to go through, and maybe some stuff I may want to like shave off and simplify or what have you. So that way it's a little bit closer to what we have in DS1, right? Try to make sure it's only the most relevant events and stuff that is important to keep track of in sequence of what's happening. But I think the Lothric End stuff wasn't as bad because I already did all the work for Lothric End, so it's just a matter of kind of just listing the important bullet points. So I think next time what we're going to do is so what'll happen is we'll cover everything involving the Ashen One. Like I said, we'll finish the stuff with the Archdragon Peak and everything, and all the events that have to happen concurrently with our player story and stuff. We're going to still ignore NPCs and things like that. Just not relevant enough for us to consider right now, even the small things, I think. I think we should also start factoring in Gale and, like I said, the stuff with the potential of Marah and its possible collapse at the hands of Wolnir and things like that. Something like that should be factored in. Probably also, and this is stuff for what I would want to work on separately, just for the just for the articles on the website and stuff. I feel like I want to might be put a little bit more meat to those bones on those topics. See if nothing else really comes to mind, surprisingly enough, though, for this. I think I've covered this stuff pretty thoroughly. But anyway, so have some of that Gale stuff incorporated in, I think, as well, just to get that put in there. Obviously, include Ariandel stuff as well for the main plot thing, like at the last of the Ariandel thing, and hopefully make it at least all the way to the Dread Keep. And all the backstory I want to have, like I want the Zoe stuff and everything covered as far as like Dread Keep is concerned. And then if we have time, I think we can maybe wrap things up by actually finishing all the DLC stuff and all the Dread Keep stuff gets done and dusted. But if not, I guess we'll save that for another time. But if I can get it all done in one go next time, that's gonna be great. So once again, everybody, that's gonna be the plan. We'll see how it plays out. Thanks so much for helping me stay sane, because I definitely don't feel it. I definitely don't feel it. So thank you guys for at least giving me some stability through all of this. Oh god, this is so dull. And once it's done though, you guys will have like a cool little timeline thing I can share in the future. That'll be nice. Until then though, bye-bye.